Oh. Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here. Give me 2 seconds to get sorted. I think I would do all this before I started. That's the arm. Okay, this will get a wee bit more light in this situation. I can't get any yet. Oh. Hi from Florida. Hello. Might be talking a wee bit funny because I'm still numb. Hope you're all good, guys. Let's have a bit closer. Connor, Sturgis, James, John. Hope you're all good. Hope you's like the live. Get that light out. Get that light moved. My sunglasses from the 12th. Bought them on the 12th of July. Good evening, Lady J. Mental, aren't they? Container they cost me. Take a break. No, this got the one. No, this is just a wee chat with my community. The ones that have been here for over a year, supported me. Yes, he did. So this is me having a break, Stevie, Northern Ireland disgruntled one. This is me chilling. This is, chilling like a villain with my community because they're all mental, you know what I mean? I've got the best community on YouTube, without a doubt, you know, so, yeah. Hope you all like the live tonight, guys. Great turnout tonight. It was, yes, and it's going to get bigger and bigger. Well done to Stevie. Northern Ireland disgruntled one. Great speech as always. Never fails the boys, you know what I mean? Let me get this cleaned up, guys. Looked a wee bit dirty there, so it did. That's better. I've been watching you for over a year. You only recently started with the live chat. Brilliant, thank you, Lady J. Thank you, Northern Ireland disgruntled one, Stevie. Thank you. Hello, Talger. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you, Window Man. All the usual suspects. Thank you, Lady J, Northern Ireland. We need to meet for a coffee sometime. So we do. Anybody that's been here from the start. Hello, Alan. Great. Thank you, mate. Good man. What are you chewing? Oh, you got one of your bones. I'm not going to go on about my toothache because it's gone. Hello, Big Bass Boom. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for the coffee, by the way. Thank you all so much for the coffees. Sent you all an email today saying thank you to you all. You know, means so much. It does fucking help, like, you know what I mean? You know, to be honest with you guys, I would always be okay, you know? I've got people around me, good friends, you know. I've got Northern Ireland disgruntled one. If I ever need to get picked up or anything, he's there, Stevie's there for me. I've got another good friend, Neil, you know, that me and Stevie know that is in the background. As always, he's been there for me in a big way, a really big help. And it's not just about, like, being there for me and, like on the 12th of July, we were in Donegal. We needed 2 cars to come and get us. And my good friend Neil, I'm not going to say his nickname, came and got us all 2 journeys. But it's not just about that. It's about the support that this man has given me through times that have been really tricky and difficult. And also through times when other people turned their back on me. You know what I mean? And even people around him maybe doubted me, and he stood firm, and I'll never forget that. You know, so that's a shout out to you. It's something that makes you stand out from the rest, mate. You know, it really does. You know, and yeah, there's not many men with balls like him. I'll tell you that for now. And Northern Ireland disgruntled one's always been there with for me as well, through the thick and thin and all the aggro. So yeah, Stevie, thank you for that as well. And that's what it's about. There's good people around us. You know, we have our fallouts. We do have our fallouts. There is Patriots that have had our fallouts. You know, I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, but you know, all I can say that I'm glad to say I can see the bridges getting built again, and we're all starting to come together as friends and patriots and citizen journalists, and hopefully we learn and grow together as a unit, as a community of patriots, of citizen journalists, and we help each other, you know. And like I say, I hate to see any falling out, or I hate to see, you know, anything, you know, because it's, you know, especially with me, because I got nothing for love. I'm not here to steal anybody's limelight. I'm not here to steal anybody's TikToks or YouTubes or overpower and all that. You know what I mean? I could do a lot more. I could do a lot more. I could put myself out a lot more. I could have 3 phones running with a Facebook Live, a TikTok Live, and a YouTube Live, and I could monetize everything. But I don't. It's not about that. It's about helping each other out. It's about being there for each other. And I'm glad to say that the citizen journalists around me, and you know, they're not there for the money. None of them are there for the money. They're there to fix their country, guys. So yeah, Subsack. Oh, you're all going too fast, right? Whoa, 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 whoa. Jay Noble back in the room. Good man. Substock, the petition for the king is to make the government aware that we are not sitting here idly handed. And it's also to show the rest of the world and our country who the king truly is. That's what it's about. We know exactly where it's going to go, and we need the rest of the country to understand what's going on. And that's what it's about, guys. Cheers, Chris. Thank you so much. Yes, for play. Yes, Wally Jordan. Gloria Honeyford is going to buy you a coffee next time she sees you, mate. You never give me a chance, so I was going to bring that up. I was actually thinking about it while I was in there making my coffee. You know what I mean? I was like, I need to give old Gloria a mention, you know. And I'm going to tell you something, right? This is fucking mental, right? Like, I used to have a crush on Gloria Honeyford when I was a wee boy. You know what I mean? I swear to God, like, you know what I mean? Don't want to get into it too personal, you know what I mean? But you do more than enough for him, Dad. We don't want you to burn out. No, I'm not burning out, mate. Yeah, it's a good one. Good, Alan. I'm glad you're in a better mood today, mate. It's to activate Article Clause 61 of the Magna Carta or security against tyranny. There you go. Northern Ireland Disgruntled has answered that for you. Hi from Loch Ness. Hi, Corn. Hi, Ryan. Thank you, mate. Wee bit bunkers. I haven't yet, no, but send me it. Yes, I know. It's like I was a wee. Right, I'll be honest with you, right? So, like, I was one of them boys that always had crushes on older women. You know what I mean? That's fucking, you know. Yeah, and I'm just being honest with these guys. You know what I mean? Let me get some light on that TV. But yeah, Gloria Honeyford, you know what I mean? Did it for me, like, and I'm talking in the 80s. You know what I mean? And yeah, I got no problem saying that to these guys. You know what I mean? It is what it is. CJ Audits. So I'm just going to stick CJ Audits on in the background. So you met CJ Audits tonight. He was the one. You never maybe met him, but he was there talking. He, you know, some of you guys. CJ Audits, just put in CJ Audits. He's a good friend and he's one of our guys, you know what I mean? Hello, Toby. Right, I need a smoke, but guys, I'm just about able to have a smoke now. Yeah, Lady J is. He's a great guy. He is a great guy. He's a funny guy, and he's been doing it a long time. You know what I mean? And he does a lot harder stuff than I do. He's coming to Donegal soon. I would love to go to Donegal. It's just security, guys. You know what I mean? It's just security. CJ Audits was live from the 11th was great. Not as good as mine. Come on now, let's be honest. My live from my 11th was better. Get it later, guys. All right, there's Fred Jameson in the house. I'm just watching me and you on telly night now, Fred, with CJ Audits. There's a Bulgian. There's a Bulgian trying to look insuspicious. Yeah, oh, CJ Audits. Well, maybe I'll watch it later, mate. You know what I mean? Oh. Hello, Freedom Dad. Hello, Fred. Sea Winds, I have a room for you. Hook me up on you. Sorry, guys. It's my first smoke. I'm no prod, but I have a cape on. Hint. No, I'm not the sharpest tool in the box sometimes, guys. Everyone from here who has a YouTube channel is hilarious. Yeah, we are. Who was that? Emerald Nady. I have seen from various sources that Republicans are discussions against those against immigration, especially in Republican areas. That includes Michelle Keane, types in the South. Yeah, you know, we're up against it, guys. You know what I mean? We're up against it. We're up against... And, you know, the good thing... Yeah, Debs, she's straight to the point. Sorry, typo, to be fine, mate. No problem. No, this is that we're fortunate, you know, that we don't have the problems from like I say, there's no paramilitaries, okay? But obviously there's still wee fractions of stuff knocking about. And I'm glad to say that we don't have any problems from these guys, you know what I mean? Unlike the Catholic community, where, as you can see, where people are saying there about the Republicans, it is pretty sad that they're going against us and going against everybody that's anti-immigration. But, you know, it's a new IRA, and it's a new Republican, you know what I mean? These guys aren't real IRA men if they're fighting against us here, trying to save both our countries, you know what I mean? Yeah, Michelle is a diamond. Michelle is a diamond. Apparently the INLA have come out and made a statement against us. Well, there you go. Warnings have already been issued against people in Strabane, you know. That's sad. It's sad that your paramilitary leaders are starting to put out issuing warning statements against your community for wanting to come and join our demos or wanting to be part of an anti-immigration organisation. You know, very, very sad. So it is. So just waiting for the numbness to wear off. Hopefully everything's okay. From Bonnie Dundee, yeah, how you doing? Good to see you in from Dundee. Dundee. Yeah, it's very sad. You know, very, very sad. Don't start. Don't start, mate. Because I'm know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that maybe it's your tooth. You know what I mean? Yeah, got dentist today. Got the rest of the tooth out. You know, no problems. No problems. You know what I mean? No freedom, Dad. You know what I mean? No sweat. Just get it out again. You know what I mean? Yeah, Stuart Brown, it's like Brits out, foreigners in. Doesn't make any sense. Tal girl, get a look at that in a wee minute. So, well, that's Sinn Féin INLA for you, I suppose. Yeah, you're right, you know what I mean? And I suppose it's easy for me to talk, I guess, you know what I mean, being in a loyalist area. You know, I'm safe, you know what I mean? You guys aren't. It's in these areas and it's really, really sad. My heart goes out to you. It really does. I think it's the saddest thing ever to happen to you. You know, it would be like, you know, the paramilitaries, whatever paramilitaries are there, to come out and say to us, if you don't stop demonstrating against immigration, we're going to do something about it. You know, it would be a very sad situation for everybody. You know, I'm not talking about me personally. I'm talking about if that's what they were to say to all is. You know, unfortunately, I wouldn't be doing what I was told. You know what I mean? Um, it's just the way it is, you know what I mean? I know what I'm doing is right, and if anybody's telling me to stop it, that means they're working for the government or they're working against my daughter. And you know, at the end of the day, if you want to kill me for trying to save my country and my daughter and the future of my Christianity, then I'll take that. You know what I mean? Because it'll go down as history of what you have done. You know what I mean? So, but it is very, very sad. I'm no being hingy. My heart breaks for some of the Catholics in some of these areas. And, you know, it was good. A couple of guys come up to me a day, came up, shook my hand, and, you know, were like, I'm a Catholic, you know what I mean? And I was one of them ones like, you know, I'm a Catholic, you know, because it was mostly Protestants there the night, and it was so nice, and I got a cuddle, and I said thank you so much for just saying that, because we need to know, you know what I mean, we need to know that yous are coming, that yous are managing to get in, and the sad thing is, it's always don't put me on camera, you know, don't put me on camera, and you know, so for all those Catholics out there that watch me and you feel that you can't come to the demos or you would like to come to the demo and meet me, there is people from your communities coming and they're representing you, mate. They're representing you guys and dolls. They are. You know, if one Catholic's there, he's representing the rest of you. That's the way I see it. So Stuart Brown, does anyone know the stance that the loyalist paramilitaries take on this situation? You know, as far as I am made to believe, and this isn't a statement or anything else, I don't think they're going to get involved, but I also don't think they're going to stop anything, you know, which is fair enough. They're just being straight down the line, you know what I mean? It's not the kind of thing anybody wants the paramilitaries being involved in, because the whole thing would go pear-shaped. It's not about giving us a bad name, but it would give the left and Sinn Féin, IRA, and other members of government a reason to call us all sorts and say that we're wrong and put us out in the bad light, you know. Yes, there will be members and people around, just like in the left, that were ex-paramilitaries. But, you know, we live in Northern Ireland. Everybody's either an ex-paramilitary, knows a paramilitary, slept with a paramilitary, or is related to a paramilitary. And there's no getting away from it, guys. You know what I mean? That's the facts, you know. And there's no way we could ever go forward with anything by excluding everybody that has anything to do with paramilitaries. That would be nuts. Like I say, guys, and I mean this from my heart, right? I am a good person, and I promise you, me, like many thousands of men in this country, would never have seen the inside of a prison cell if it wasn't for being born in Belfast and in the Troubles. And I truly believe that with all my heart, because I know the men and women that were in the paramilitaries, and I know who they are. I know how kind and how hangy they are, and I know it was the situation of getting brought up in Belfast in the conflict, being bombed, having INLA men and IRA men coming into our areas, into our pubs, and unaliving some of the men that we really looked up to. And you know, not only that, some were family, you know, some were brothers, you know what I mean? And that, with that, growing up with that, there's only one direction men are going in. You know, what kind of men would not follow the role of being a paramilitary and fighting against the IRA, INLA, IPLO, and all the rest, you know. And vice versa for IRA men, that's why they joined up, and there wouldn't be many men in Republican areas that wouldn't have been joined up, and that's just what men do. That's just the world we live in, guys, you know. But them days are over. We've been at ceasefire for over 25 years. Yes, there's still stuff that's went on, but not under the umbrella of the power multis, I don't believe, you know. At least we're on the right side of history, correct? Yes, correct. I don't know if I can bring this closer. I never really thought about putting this on here. I'm bringing it up a bit. So I'm going to relax a wee bit. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I don't know why I never thought that before. Up here in Drum and Darlick, that's a big word. So have we got the Canadian in the night, Freddy boy? Let's say hello. Yes, Lady J, when was that? See, I can remember. So, see the shootouts that we had on the Donegal Road, Roden Street. See what the problem was? This was the IRA going up to plant bombs in the city centre, and there would be a roadblock, and then they would come back, and sometimes the soldiers would be onto them, and they would turn down one of our streets, and quite a lot of our streets were dead ends, if you mind, on the right hand side. And Kilburn Street, Lower Kilburn Street was a dead end, and we had a shootout as well. I can remember, like, my ma was alive, and like I can remember the soldier in my doorway with my front door open, shooting down the street. Yeah. So Fred Jameson is my right hand man, so everybody knows that's Freddie. He's get to know him. Like I say, we don't hide. We're not, you know, we've got nothing to hide. We've got nothing to fear. You know, we are who we are. There's no back doors in us, you know what I mean? Yeah, we've all got history, and yeah, we all suffer from mental health in Northern Ireland, PTSD. But we work together to help each other, and that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Some people still judge us because of our past and maybe the way we behaved and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know, who can throw the first stone? You know what I mean? Sort of thing. It's your sea winds. Yeah, well said, Carl. Yes, definitely. Hello, Carl. From Carlisle. I'm drunk. LOL. That's all right, mate. You're allowed. It's allowed. Alan thinks Fred better than you. Oh, for fuck's sake, don't be saying that. Oh, man. Do not be saying that when he's on alive. I'm never gonna hear the end of that, like. Alan, stop it. Stop it, I love it. Stop it, I love it. Well, I've taught him well, haven't I, guys? You know what I mean? I've taught him well. The demos won't be fading away, nobody. He is a natural. He is. Honestly, he's one of the funniest guys you'll ever meet. I'm telling you, like, I'm telling you. Support from Lagmore, thank you. That's the dog chewing a bone, guys. That's what that is. Hey, come here. Come up, say hello. Right, you're making an awful lot of racket. You want to tell them what you're doing? I'll show them your bone. Go and get your bone. Go and get your bone. I'm not fighting with you. No, I'm not fighting with you. I'm not fighting with you. Go and get your bone. That's what your bone's for. Bring your bone. Bring it. Bring it here. Bring it here. Bring your bone here. Let me see. Good girl. Bring it here. Good girl. Hey, hey, calm down. Calm down. That's right. Calm down. Calm down. You're going to get it back. That's our bone. So dogs need to know, right? Bit of dog information for you, right? So a dog needs to know. The instinct is to know. So when they kill an animal in the wild, they're not. Before we came along, they kill an animal in the wild, they gorge, they eat the insides, and then they gorge on the rest, and then they gnaw on the bones. But the reason why we do it with pets, especially with staffies and other dogs, it's very important that your dog gnaws because it keeps the teeth blunt. So if they are playing about, you know, normally what happens, some dogs have got bad owners, but some dogs don't have bad owners and they attack kids, okay? And the reason why that happens is because the dog has never had a bone and their teeth are quite sharp. So when they're playing, they dig their teeth in and they punch or they hurt the child. Whereas the child then screams, the dog panics, and then the rest is history, as you know. So dogs should always have a bone, keeps their teeth nice and blunt, nice and soft, so when they're playing, you'll never get hurt, you know, and they never make a mistake. Yeah, quite a lot of bad dogs is bad owners, of course. Aye, definitely. Won't go back to my hometown in the East End until it changes big time. Let's hope it does change. They don't like dogs. They don't like dogs. No point giving them bones. Blow up dolls. That's what they need. Your dog should be afraid of everything, apart from anybody that comes to your door. You know what I mean? Or tries to come up your stairs. But your dog should never attack any other dogs. It shouldn't attack cats. You know, my dogs will chase a cat because it runs, but they just want to play. Same as her. You know, no problem with cats. You know what I mean? The problem with cats is they run. You know, then the dog chases them. But if the cat stopped and turned around and went like that to any of my dogs would back off. And that's how your dog should be, you know. You don't need to have a violent dog to protect your house and your home, you know. A dog will protect you, you know. You don't need to train it to kill anything or be nasty or growl or fucking hang off tree branches. Yeah, Mac, you're right about Sinn Féin and EU and all the rest of it. Yeah, Islam for some reason don't like dogs. It's not that they will have dogs, has guard dogs in cages, but they would never have a dog in their house. And I think some of them think they're just really dirty animals. Just like pigs, they don't like pigs. They think pigs are really dirty animals. Brickmasters are allergic to all animals, maybe short-haired animals. Yeah, Muhammad didn't like dogs. Geese are good. Geese are good for protecting your grounds. Yeah, you're a Donegal man. You're a Donegal man. If you integrate with Donegal, this is how it works, right? If you integrate with Donegal, no matter where you come from, and you join in and everything that everybody does in Donegal, and you fucking, you don't expect nothing to change, then you're a Donegal man. It's always been the concept with us. If somebody comes into your area, what I mean, some people always say that you're an outsider, no matter how long you're there, but most people will accept you as a Donegal man, 90% of people. So, and that's all that matters. Yeah, Fred just lost his staffy after 13 odd years, you know what I mean? Heartbreaking. Just a few weeks ago, not that long. So, yeah, it is difficult. It is difficult, but we're going to get him another dog. Hyde Park, no dogs allowed now. Well, that didn't take long, did it, guys? The British banter box. I'm thinking about moving to Ballymena. I really want out Glasgow. I feel safer here. I really want to build tiny house and build. I look into let me tell you something, Angela of Alba. If you came over here on holiday and were with the right people in the right place, you wouldn't go back. You do not know how many people I know that have came over here and stayed. Guys coming over to visit can't believe the difference of it is over here to there. The community, the way people are, the friendliness of everyone, you know what I mean? In most areas, the lack of drugs, the lack of crime. It's a different world, guys. A lad on here last week said half of the new estate of 600 houses in West Belfast were getting allocated to the boat people. Gary Belfast, Freedom Dad, you can take the boy out of the village, but you can't take the village out of the boy. That's correct. Where you're born and bred, it's who you are, you know what I mean? And I just happen to be really lucky to be born in the village and to learn the social skills as a young boy through the BB in the Donegal Road, in Tin Top, Donegal Road Methodist Church, and my mates on the street building bonfires, joining the Orange Lodge in Sandy Row. I was very lucky and fortunate to be brought up in such an area, even though it was bombed quite a lot and there was a lot of trouble and violence because we were so close to the Falls Road. It just brought the community closer together, you know what I mean? I don't know. I think having nothing made things better for everybody, and we were all in the same boat. We had one house that had a bath, number 1 Kilburn Street, and the kids used to take turns. They'd make Monday or Tuesday night. So many kids from each side of the street would go in, one after the other, get a bath, and the wee woman would make us a glass of Coca-Cola and milk and ice. And this was when you could mix Coca-Cola and milk, and it's something that I'll never forgot. You know what I mean? It was amazing, absolutely amazing. Because I don't think we could afford Coca-Cola. Me and my mum. I don't think that was ever a luxury. So having that and having a bath, you know what I mean? And, it was amazing. Because it was amazing seeing a bath. We had a tin bath that hung out in the back wall that was brought in whenever I needed a bath, you know what I mean? But it was a lot of work for my mum on her own. I know, mate. Okay, I know that. But I think we were just behind the times a bit, you know what I mean? Because everybody else I know everywhere else in the world at 55 had a bath. We had an outside toilet. Everybody in the village had an outside toilet right up to the 80s. Good times, yeah. Fucking they were good times, that's the thing. You know, the coal fire and all that. Doing the toast on the coal fire. There was no toasters. You know what I mean? So I think we like you had the loaf. You had a loaf. It wasn't sliced. You know, so the end bit of the loaf, because it would just sit out. You know, the end bit of the loaf would always stay fresh, and then the end bit of the loaf would be a bit stale, and you would toast that bit. No, the newspapers went to the local grocers, and they gave me fruit and stuff. My mum used to send me with a big pile of papers to the wee shop in the corner on the Donegal Road, and they used to give me fruit and veg and stuff for it for my ma. I have to say, I'm just watching CJ Audits, sir, and you need to catch it. You need to watch it, guys. His live. Watch his live. If he's got a chance. He was the same place as me, but it's a different live. His live's different than mine. And you know, he's talking to a copper right now. Like, I wouldn't do that, you know what I mean? Because I suppose it's the reason why I don't interact. I would like to interact with the coppers because I'm a citizen journalist. I want them to know who I am. They already know who I am, sort of thing. But it's just a bit of common courtesy. When they don't cause any problems, I just think it's fair enough to treat them as fathers and uncles, just like us, you know, here doing a job. But one of the reasons I don't like talking to them is because of obviously the MI5 thing, you know what I mean? And, you know, I'm starting talking to police and people got that in the back of their mind. It's just something fucking I don't need, you know what I mean? So I stay clear of them. I'll give them a wee thumbs up and all that, you know what I mean? Some of them are all right and, you know, if they give you a smile or whatever because they recognise you, you know what I mean? But that's as far as it goes. So it's good to see an interaction because with CJ, he can do all that, you know what I mean? And it's a different, this is what we mean, we're all different. We've all got different styles, you know what I mean? And like I say, that's what YouTube's about. There's so many out there, and the more the merrier, guys, the more the merrier. '30th wedding anniversary, well done, mate. That's like a sentence, man. That's like a hefty jail sentence, isn't it? 30 years, man. When you getting out. I'm joking. Well done, mate. Congratulations to the two of you. Yeah, I know what that's. Yeah, it's just something I don't need to do. You know what I mean? But like, I am that kind of person who doesn't. I've never, even all my life, with the life I've had. You know what I mean? And you know, I've had run-ins with the police and loads of arrests for all different things. You know what I mean? And you know, I've been put on the ground and guns put in my head, and they've threatened to shoot me and all that. You know what I mean? Because I was doing their nuts in. Um, I've always been all right with them, and they've always sort of been all right with me. It's always been a fair cop. You know what I mean? I've understand who I am. I understand who they are. You know, we're different people for a reason. There's a good reason who I am, and I know that. And whatever led them to be a police, whether it's to protect the community and all that, which is admirable, is where they are, you know what I mean? And, you know, it was, you know, for a cop, you know what I mean? I've never went obviously I've went ahead with them for different reasons, but not when it's been doing with the bank robberies or anything else to do with my life, you know what I mean, where I've had fucking interactions with them. Even at the boats, getting stopped at the boats or getting on the planes and getting stopped and questioned and all. I've always been courteous, you know what I mean, and had a laugh as you would and take the piss a wee bit, you know what I mean. So it's, you know, until they start running at us with batons and shields and pepper spraying us, I don't see why we shouldn't be courteous with them, you know what I mean. like I say, we're going to be there filming everything they do as well. So they've got to behave themselves, you know what I mean? So obviously it's all starting to wear off. I'm starting to feel it now. Yeah, I've got the tooth out. The tooth got I got the dentist today, but it's all the numbing's wearing off now. You know what I mean? Right at this minute, and I can feel it. You know, obviously they've ripped. So the tooth was broke, and there was still a bit left. So they took that last bit out. You know what I mean? It wasn't pleasant. You know what I mean? But he was like, so what do you want me to do? I said to him, I want you to get rid of this pain. Don't want this pain any longer. He's like, right. X-rayed it and goes, right, you need to get that out. Get it out. You know what I mean? So obviously there's still going to be pain there from getting that tooth ripped out. Yeah. Yeah. It was like 2 hours before the live. So yeah, thumbs up for full freedom, Dad. You know what I mean? My whole face was numb when I was doing the live. Sanjay, oh thanks, absolutely amazing. Fair play to you. Like so much love for you guys, you know, and that's what we need. And you are totally awake. You know, these girls in Ballymena are totally awake, guys, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. You know what I mean? And what we need to do is we need to help. You know, my platform's not big enough. You know what I mean? But anybody in Ballymena, man, help these girls. They need a minibus. You know what I mean? They need a minibus to get about. You know, and they're prepared to pay. You know, they just don't need to pay the extortionate prices. They just need somebody that's got a minibus or it's a taxi that is a patriot who would like to go to the demos as well and take a load of women with them. You know, we can sort. There must be a way of sorting that out. I'll throw something out on Facebook as well, because you know it's nice that what they're going through in Ballymena, and they're not just sitting there and worrying about their own. They're actually looking out for everybody else, and they're seeing the problems everywhere else. And I think it means a lot. And I know the left bust people in and all that, right? But this is different. These are people who, whether you bust them in or not, they're going to get there. They're going to get there. All I'm thinking is trying to make it a bit easier for them. You know what I mean? Hulk Hogan died today. Jeez, oh. Every time we're on the live, somebody's dying. I seen that. Yeah, I seen that, mate. The guy with the shield, mate. I seen that. Brickmaster, I had a nightmare about it last night. Am I getting hacked in and made a joyride? Died of a heart attack. '71. He was brilliant in Rocky. '71. You know, I suppose when you're 55, you're like, it's not that old, is it? You know, because I know 71-year-olds, I know 70-year-olds, and they're fit as a fiddle. Fucking fit as a fiddle. I think it's because they've done a lot of jail, like, you know what I mean? But, you know, hey ho, you know, something positive coming out of the jail, innit? It's not old at all. It's not old at all. It probably is. The 20-year-olds are like, fucking 71, that's old. He done well there. Age 15, I 66, never recovered. Just got to try and eat healthy, mate. That's difficult when we're living in such a hard time. I know Eminem. Oh, I know. I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah. It's like your brain doesn't age, you know. Lady J, amen. From Angela of Alba. Yeah, he did play a huge part in the Trump campaign, yeah. Hope that's not annoying you, that noise. It's just chewing our bone. It's just really, really happy. Yeah, so the Epping Hotel is shut, is it? Is that what I'm hearing? Yeah. Oh, they've moved them? Yep, so yeah, that's something that we can see happening now, innit? But where are they moving them to, guys? You know, fucking the government are in a sticky situation here. They're gonna need the people, they're gonna have to move the people out of hotels, right? So to stop the protest, to stop people gathering, more and more people gathering, and eventually maybe trouble happening, they are gonna have to move. The only solution is to move them out of the hotels. Because that then takes away the protest. So where do they move them to? Because they won't move them into another hotel because everybody loves to go to that hotel. Are they just going to move them all to Ireland? Sligo, like they did with them ones in Ballymena. Very strange what's happened in Sligo. Can't get my head around it. I don't know what's happening there. It's like there's something flapping. I don't know what that is. Something just came out. I'm not going to show you it. Something that they push in the hole. That's the big question. Yeah, it is. It's nuts. Like we're painkillers are very addictive. I know. Nurofen. That's what I was taking. Took Nurofen when I got up a day. Oh, CJ Audits, mate. I've got you on. I've got you on right now. I'm just telling everybody what's your live, because your live's different to my lives, and we've all got different styles. You know what I mean? So anybody that's really interested in this kind of thing, well, you can watch both. You know what I mean? But say hello to CJ Audits. I'm going up to get a Nurofen because all the numbness is gone. I don't know what I've just pulled out of the hole where the tooth was, and it is fucking agony. And shut up, Fred, all right? Oh, sorry about that, guys. But yeah, it's getting sore. So has Freddie been taking the piss out of me? Aye. No, I took one. I took one. probably the first time I've ever taken Nurofen in over 10 years, you know what I mean? So they work because I'm not used to them. Yeah, it'll help. Yeah, it'll just because it's, scory and you get a tooth taken out, you know what I mean? It's going to be sore after the numbness goes. So, um, yeah, it is what it is. But it's not as bad as what it was. That's all I'm going to say. Like, very funny, James. Yeah. Yeah, CJ Audits, top man, 110%. Really nice guy. Sat and had a coffee with him. Um, you know, just really nice guy. Just like you say, you know me. You guys that's been here for a long time. You know, I'm a bit of a people reader. You know what I mean. So, yeah, he's a good one of the good ones. You know what I mean. And he's done his time in jail because of what he does, and he's never given up. And you gotta admire a man when he does that. You know. Um, the whole point of doing citizen journalists is you're always on the line. You're always on the line, so you are. You're always close to the line. You're at demos and you're involved in stuff. You're jumping about, and you could be arrested at any time for just for recording something. You know what I mean? And you got to be careful. You're not going on about. You're not telling people to go somewhere. You know what I mean? And I always say I will be there to document it. And if you want to come and say hello, come and say hello. There's nothing wrong with me going to do citizen journalists and asking my community if they want to come and say hello face to face. There's nothing wrong with that. That's normal. I'm not telling you to come and protest. You don't even have to have anything to do with the protest. You can just come to say hello to Freedom Dad. So, and because if I was to start going, listen, there's a demo here, we're all going here. You got to go to this demo, and then it all kicks off. You can bet your bottom dollar they'll be through my door in the morning and hit me with some sort of conspiracy or directing something. You know what I mean? And that's just because of who I am. They're able to take that opportunity with me because of my record and because there wouldn't be any problem with any judges or anybody refuse me bail and all the rest of it because I've never had bail in my life. So, you know what I mean? It is very, very dangerous for some people and you do need to be squeaky clean, you know what I mean? And have no skeletons in the closet and stuff like that. But at the same time, if you're doing it for the right cause, none of it matters. And you just take whatever comes, you deal with it as it comes, and you keep moving on, and you never let anybody waver you or stop in the direction that you're going. You know what I mean? But like I say, I always say it isn't, CJ Audits will tell you, it isn't easy. It is not easy. You never know when you're going to get arrested. You never know when you're going to get your equipment taken off you. And you never know when you're going to get it back. And you never know if you're going to get bail or if you do get bail, what the conditions can be. You know what I mean? Because they could put conditions on you where you can't go to demos or you can't go on the internet. You know what I mean? So it is difficult. So you do need to give people like CJ, who's been doing this a lot longer than me, under a lot more extreme pressure, doing a lot more stuff and than I do, a lot more extreme dangerous stuff than I do when you're dealing with the police. So but just being genuine and honest, guys, you know what I mean? I'm not here begging somebody up just because he made me a cup of coffee. I'm here, well, it wasn't actually him, but I had a cup of coffee with him. I'm being genuine, you know what I mean? It's not, you just don't really see behind the scenes on the life of these men that do this and the hassle that they get from everywhere and everything, you know what I mean? Right down to social, whatever they need, maybe driver licenses, getting licenses for this, that, and the other, dealing with the council, dealing with anything to do with the government, and then to the police, to the courts, to prosecution magistrates, and all the rest of it. Every single one is against you, these guys, and they still keep going forward. So never forget that. When you're enjoying your videos and you see them and understand clearly that it's not just that 20-minute video or an hour video. There's a whole life there that these guys have to put up with to do what they want to do, to bring you the content that you watch, you know what I mean? And the other side of it as well, it's not just about content and entertainment. It's not there, they make you laugh and giggle and give you a good time. There is that element to it, you know what I mean, because of the character who's behind the camera, you know? But at the same time, they're doing a service to the community. They're not there having fun. Please believe me. They're doing it because they believe in what they're doing, and they hopefully will be able to make a difference and change things. You know what I mean? And that's massive. That's massive. You know, you get content creators that jump about going on holiday and creating situations and doing things silly, and they get millions and millions of followers because it's just entertainment. But you got men like CJ who are actually making a difference and trying to make a difference to the community and the country. You know what I mean? And also keeping the police in check, which is, you know, no an easy feat. Right boy, right boy. He sounds like a walker from Walking Dead, doesn't he? Let me check. No, it's all right. He's still with us. He's not a walker. He hasn't been bit. Right, calm down, calm down. Angie, calm down. Be quiet, dog England, till I die. Boy. Oh, I'm just watching what was at the back. Ah, right now, I understand. CJ, I understand. I'm watching your video. They're out playing out the back. Right, where's you go? Out the back of the hotel. Fucking well done, mate. Well done. That's why you watch CJ Audits. Chill up. So yeah, guys, I am just running up the an hour tonight. I am just running up the an hour. Like I say, live out there. I just wanted to come on and say hello. There's no big subjects, no topics. Just let you all get a chat. Met quite a lot of you. All right, Wade. Great fucking meeting you tonight. Bit of a laugh, you know what I mean, with old Glory Hunterford. And then it's funny enough, you know what I mean, like, it's, you know, just, you know, I really did, you know, back in the day I did have a crush on the woman, you know what I mean, and like, just as a young silly boy, you know what I mean, and yeah, just funny on so many levels. Fair play to yous, you know what I mean, but that's who we are, that's the community we are, that's, you know, what it's all about. That's what Patriots are all about, and it's quite amazing that we are all the same. You know, it is a community that all comes together, and we are all on the same wavelength. It's quite remarkable, to be honest with you. There's no many communities that build up like that. Getting ready for in Glasgow, going from Aberdeen buses. Okay, Morag, have safe journeys. M&S is finished. Of course it's finished. You know, do you think the government are going on to Sky News and Watching It Live to see what's going on around the world? You know what I mean? There's nobody getting anywhere near us. There's nobody getting anywhere near our demos. There's, you know, nobody. We know everybody. Everybody knows everybody. And citizen journalists, we know who all our citizen journalists are because there's a community. And when somebody else comes in that we don't know, we will be asking, who are you? What's your YouTube channel? What's your TikTok? It's not easy. It's just being patriots, wanting to get to know each other, you know. And if you've got some guy going blah, 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 and you know, he's mainstream media trying to pretend to be a TikToker or YouTube to come in and get the footage, you know what I mean? And we're on the all that, you know what I mean? Yeah, maybe one or two make it by, depending on how big the demos are. And we're not there hunting people. We're just there not letting people pull the wool over our eyes, you know what I mean? If you're going to come in all sneaky like that, it's not going to work, you know what I mean? And then if mainstream media do come in, like BBC News and Sky News, they'll just be asked questions. We'll want to know some questions of what's happened in the last 20 years. And normally when we start asking questions, they skedaddle, you know, and that's normally the way it is because the men behind the camera know who they're working for. They know what they've done to their country. You know, they're just working for them. They're cameramen. They're just wanting the bucks, you know what I mean? But eventually these cameramen will be going to other places and making money other ways, you know. So, yeah. CJ Audits, big bass boom. Yeah, thanks CJ Audits for coming on, man. Thanks for coming on and saying hello. And I know you don't show your face very often, but yeah, fair play to you, mate. And thank you everybody that said hello today. And it me. Yeah, sorry. They tried that trick earlier, and AY Audits pulled them up, and off they were shuffled. Yeah, that's what I mean. Well done, AY Audits. Yeah, well done. All. Because we're not there to push people away. If you want to come in, you know what I mean, then come in as who you are, and allow the other citizen journalists to question you. You know, what's wrong with that? You're a journalist. You work for the BBC, Sky News, and all the rest of it. You know what I mean? What's the problem? You know, why can't we interview? Why can't we ask you some questions? Get an understanding of where you've been for the last 20 years and why all of a sudden you're popping up around our demos. You know, simple questions that would need answered, and that's what they would get on camera. So they wouldn't get very far. They wouldn't get the footage they expect. They wouldn't get the footage where they can go on where they can put the chimney corner on every news broadcaster in Britain, going far right thugs rat, far right thugs fight. You know, far right thugs throw bottles at the police. They're no getting that. What they're getting is, where have you been for the last 20 years? Why have you silenced? Why have you been silent? Who's silencing you? Why aren't you reporting the truth? You know, why are you calling us all far right and racist? Do we look like, you know, that's what they would get. And they wouldn't know what to say, how to say it. And then they would probably get a wee bit of abuse because a lot of people are really, really angry how they've been let down by mainstream media. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The future is citizen journalists. The future isn't Freedom Dad, guys. You know, this is my channel. I rule with anything, have a laugh and a crack. I'm not here to be anybody or do anything. I'm here to make sure everybody knows the score and other citizen journalists can get out there, and we support other citizen journalists. And if I got a wee platform of 5, 6, 7,000 people, then happy days. You know what I mean? I can then promote other people and grow other people who deserve to grow and get the word out quicker, you know what I mean, than sitting here trying to build a channel and get hundreds of thousands of people and get loads of hate and all the hassle and not be able to read all your comments out. There's lots Patriots can do that can lift everything right up and just sit and relax and enjoy it. You know what I mean? And there's loads of Patriots doing the exact same thing because we're not in it for anything else but our children. And that's the difference between us and everybody else. You know what I mean? We're not interested. You know what I mean? I get help from you. Other YouTubers will get help from other YouTubers. Everybody helps each other. There's always lifts for people. You know, if anybody's ever stuck, they just need to come to the citizen journalist group, say they're struggling or they need this, and we would come together and find a solution. There's a solution to every problem, and that's what it's about. Everybody's happy. Everybody's got food, water, you know what I mean, petrol in the car. That's it. We don't wear designer clothes. We don't wear fancy watches, you know what I mean? And we're okay. We're all okay. And that's the difference. And we're not millionaires, so nobody can buy us and nobody can infiltrate us and nobody can do anything. They can't take nothing off us because we don't have anything, okay? And we're not here to gain anything. We're here to bring the news to you guys, to let you know what's going on, to let you know what people in the streets are doing. So you're not there in your house thinking, oh my God, what's going on? Why is this happening to us? What is anybody doing about it? I'm showing you what everybody's doing about it, and there's going to be more and more to come. So with that, guys, it is getting sore, right? Fred, don't, you know the score, Fred. You've been there. It's absolute agony. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be fine. I've done well. Got my tooth pulled out today, straight on the live. So I know I've done all right. You know what I mean? So I know Fred's going to give me a stinking tomorrow. So yes, listen, guys, I'm gonna go. Hopefully this newer friend kicks in. I'll try and get something neat because I haven't been eating and I'm really, really hungry as well. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm fucking, I do this all the time. Thank you, Kira. Thank you so much. Start a new party. The parties here in the north haven't got our interests at heart. That is another video, guys. That is another video. And hopefully, I'm reaching out to some people right now. Maybe get an interview, maybe get a live with somebody who may be able to answer all these questions for us. You know what I mean? And yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So listen, guys, I'm going to go. Come here, Chip. Come say goodbye. There you go. There. Look, 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 here, look. Oh, camera shy the night. Look. 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 Right, guys, I'm gonna go. Stay safe and like God bless every single one of you. Oh, hold on, all the best, Freedom Dad, and everyone stay safe. Right, thank you, and me. Listen, love you all, guys. I'm definitely away. God bless.